Okay, so lots of businesses have consumables with manufacturer recommendations. And so for any business, any consumable, I urge you to rethink the process like I did, because here's a shop hack for my screen printer buddies that they don't want you to know. I say shop hack, but really we just tested a couple of different ways to fill and empty and top up the dip tank. And we didn't just do it a couple times. Look, this goes from like September to October, November, all the way I see to like March here of this year. We've been testing the new way since then, and it's working pretty good. So today I'm just some time waiting for a client. I'm gonna standardize it a little bit. Okay, so usually for a 40-gallon tank like this, they'd recommend you put in like, I don't even know what it is, a ton of chemical in there right when you fill it up with fresh water. And then when the tank gets weak from cleaning screens, they say that you should start topping it up. That does work. It does work. But what we found topping it up 2 quarts at a time is that sometimes we get, a lot of screens out of it. And sometimes over time, we would get less screens over time, less screens over time, less screens over time. Now, yeah, they do recommend to empty the tank out, but it's always on a time basis. They'll also tell you that this stuff doesn't go bad. And they'll also tell you that if there's no sludge in the bottom, then you shouldn't have to empty it. But what we're finding is that 2 quarts goes a long way with fresh water. So when we fill the tank with fresh water, we don't add 4 gallons of this stuff. We just add 2 quarts. And if you add 2 quarts at a time to fresh water, it will last longer than 4 gallons if you add it all at once. Are we tracking here? So if I fill this up with fresh water and I add 2 quarts, I'm gonna get way more screens out of it than if I added 2 quarts to this after it's dead from a full 4-gallon fill at the beginning there, like they recommend. But like I said, it does taper off. So we were keeping track of it with like a whiteboard before, but here's what I came up with now. Just some labels, basically. Dip solution refill, 2 quarts at a time. Dip solution max refill, 2 gallons. I started a document for the process as well, which means that if we're following this and adding 2 quarts at a time from this that has a max of 2 gallons, then that should mean we're only adding 8 quarts max to this tank and then refilling it. And all that does is help us get more yield out of this chemistry. So I urge you to rethink all the manufacturer's recommendations for anything in any business that you're running, because you might find something like I did.